In this video, we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of Mint Mobile. I have been using it for 3 months now, so I feel somewhat qualified to speak on it. We're going to talk about how much it costs, their different phone plans, how hard it was for me to switch from T-Mobile. T-Mobile, if you're seeing this, T-Mobile finally pissed me off bad enough for me to switch. I had been procrastinating switching over for about 2 years, and I finally did it back in September, I believe, because September, October, November. Yeah, so I finally switched over. I did their trial period where you get $15 a month for 3 months. And so I paid like $55 for 3 months of phone service. And so by doing that, I was able to see, is it going to work in rural Alabama where I live, or is the phone service going to be poor? We're going to get into all of that in the video, and I'm also going to have a link for you in the description to get the same deal, $15 a month for 3 months. So you're going to get unlimited data for basically, like, I think it wound up being like $55 after all taxes and fees for 3 months. I have literally went from paying $900 a year to $300 a year. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. Obviously, that would be worthless if the service didn't work, but for me, the service has been working fine. I mean, I have not had any like drop calls. I don't really make that many phone calls, but in the event that I did, I haven't had any issues with it thus far. My service has been working well. Most of the time I'm at home, so I have Wi-Fi running, so I don't use as much data. So we can talk about their data plans and their different options. Honestly, I looked at bad reviews for Mint Mobile, and the only real things I could find were people who were in bigger cities who said like that their service dropped when they were like on a subway or at a concert venue or something like that. And I was like, you guys, I'm in rural Alabama. This is not going to be a problem for me. And so my service has been fine, even when I'm in like what we would call the boonies. If we're like far out in a rural area, even more rural than where I live, I haven't had issues with the service. The other negative thing I heard is that their customer service wasn't that responsive, and that obviously you have to pay 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months at a time, so that if you don't like it, it's kind of hard for you to stop that plan. But that's why you try the 3-month plan for $55 straight out the gate and decide if you like it from there. You can do different structures. The more that you pay for in advance, the cheaper the plan gets. So I went ahead yesterday and bought 1 year of Mint Mobile. I got the 20 gig plan. So I've got 20 gigs a month for, I think it was $298 after all taxes and fees. So I basically have paid my phone bill for a whole entire year, which, you know, wasn't that fun to pay $300 up front, but just knowing like, hey, that's not going to be coming out of your account for the rest of the year. That's something that's taken care of, and I saved $600. So I'm trying to find ways to cut costs wherever I can. These subscription companies are getting too big for their britches, and the way that Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, HBO, or Max, or whatever the hell they're calling it now, those services used to be like $3.99, $4.99, $7.99, and now they're going up to like $17.99. That is just ridiculous. Like, the average person can't pay that, especially trying to pay groceries and stuff like that in this economy. So for that reason, I'm really trying to go through like all of my line items and be like, where can I cut this from the budget, or where can I get this bill lowered? And so whether that means changing companies or negotiating with the current company, I'm trying to make that like one of my end of the year things that I've been working on. You also can potentially get credits if you refer your friends and family. So later on, if you sign up and you like it and then you get someone else to sign up, you can get $45 basically credited to your account, so that when your next renewal comes up, you can get 45 off, 90 off. Like, you could potentially get your next year paid for just by sharing that link. So I will kind of give you guys kind of the rundown of how that goes when I make an update. But for now, I paid my own bill. I didn't get any friends and family looped into this yet, but I thought, you know, let me make a video on it so I can share my experience with you guys. One thing I was worried about is that I would not be able to keep my phone number. I've had my phone number for like 8 or 9 years, and so I just didn't want to change it. Luckily, they do have a way for you to keep your phone number. It doesn't cost any extra. The only thing they tell you to do is don't cancel your current service yet. Wait until you've signed up with Mint, and then they're going to contact your carrier and basically tell them that they have taken over your phone plan. And so I didn't even have to call T-Mobile and cancel. Like, they basically did that for me. And so just letting them deal with all of that was so easy. I did everything online. I didn't have to go to a phone store, talk to anyone, beg them, hassle them, get pitched on, oh, you need the new iPhone 47 or whatever's out now. Like, it was so easy. I did it in less than an hour, and that was with me like looking at everything really meticulously, because I'm like, let me make sure that I read the fine print and understand what it is that I'm actually buying. I'm honestly sad that I procrastinated this for so long, because I could have been saving money for the last few years, but I mean, I just felt like it was going to be a bigger deal than it was, but it was something that I got done pretty quickly. So if you're like me and you're a procrastinator, this is definitely something that's doable. If you just set aside some time on like a Saturday morning, I feel like you can have this knocked out within an hour. The main reason that I use my phone when I'm not at home would be for texting, listening to music on Spotify, listening to podcasts, like if I'm on a road trip, navigating with Waze, so like trying to figure out where the heck I am and where I'm going, all of the things that you would normally use your phone for. And I've used it for like a 7-hour road trip, and I had no interruptions, nothing like that. I've used it at the beach when we were down there. I've used it on trails. I've been way out in the woods in North Alabama, and I haven't had any coverage drop. So I mean, I feel like they're using, the same towers that everyone else is using. You're just getting it at a discounted rate. One con that people brought up was like, you might be deprioritized if there's like 10,000 people in a venue and you have Mint and somebody else has T-Mobile, they might get priority over you. I'm fine with that to save $600 a year. There's really nothing crucial that I'm using my phone for. Typically, I'm using my phone because it's like a habit, and I'm just like, oh, let me scroll for a little while. And so for me, this is something that really made a difference in my budget. It's become something that I'm like telling other people about, because I know my mom was paying like over $100 a month for her phone plan. And a lot of these phone plans have you roped into where you're like on a plan with like 6 other people, and it's awkward because you've all been doing it for like 5 years, and nobody wants to be the one to say like, let's cancel this and get our own plans. But Mint actually has some plans, I think, for families, so you might want to look into that as well. I think that this is something that I would recommend if you're trying to cut down on your phone bill. I don't think that there's any reason why a phone bill should be $70 or $100 or $150. That's just ridiculous. So I guess if I do the math now, how much am I paying per month? Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, I had to go get the calculator, but that is 300 divided by 12 is $25 a month. So I went from paying $75 to $25. So I am not going back to T-Mobile. I'm not going back to any giant carrier. My boyfriend has Google Fi, and he likes that as well. So I feel like if you're wanting to switch, either of those options has been working for us. Like I said, if you want the discount code, it's in the description below. You'll get $15 a month plan for 3 months, and you'll get unlimited data. I like Mint. I am a fan of their little fox. Their marketing worked on me. I think it's cute. I like the green, and I would definitely recommend this for a phone service if you're trying to cut costs and you want something that's effective but also affordable and that you can pay for in a lump sum and get a huge discount on. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.